I never disagreed with that. I just
He was
the whole
never
technical
on
roster
the.
application.
He played what, like 5 plays, and never lined up with his hand in the dirt or on the line of scrimmage, ever, not once. There's your 6 wide receiver.
We'll see what happens when we actually have a legitimate first offense out there with Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones and the people that are supposed to be the full
I just
starting
like to rub
first
it into
offense.
Dave. That's all, Ryan. I'm razzing Dave because I can.
Because of the roster spots and now we're
Yes.
treating him.
Yes.
Yes, I know.
I actually think that I agree with Ryan. I think Rob Tanyan or Bob Tanyan or Bobby, whatever people call him, I think he is one of his underrated spots. Underrated spots he doesn't get to be recognized for in this preseason and training camp. Mercedes Lewis came out and said last year that Tanyan was pulling him aside every training camp practice, every practice between games, and to go ahead and learn how to run block, to be a better run blocker. And it's something that he's shown that he can do now solidly because he's also put on 15 to 20 pounds extra over the past 2 years. So I'm really excited for him in this offense.
Oh, Bob.
Yeah, and that's the biggest knock everyone has on him is that he can't run block. Well, we're paying Jimmy Graham $12 million and he doesn't run block at all. So,
No, look, he does. Look, I hate this idea that every pass catching tight end is got the stigma that they don't run block. Okay, and I think it's so funny because if every tight end that could catch passes was Jimmy Graham, they wouldn't be tight ends in the game anymore. Because there would really be no use for them because then they're just a big ass wide receiver that doesn't run as fast and usually his hands aren't as good. It just. So the idea that he has no blocking ability is kind of laughable to me, and I don't know how the kid went undrafted. When you watch him play, and like you said, his physical tools and traits, I know he's raw, but I've seen a lot worse players drafted in the 5th, 6th, 7th round than Bob Tanyan. I'm sorry. So I guess seeing him now kind of baffles me how he slipped through the draft process without being noticed and picked up with at least a 7th round pick. He's definitely got the talent and shown the growth. I mean, this is only his 2nd or 3rd year, isn't it? I mean, he's a young kid.
There's another point I got to bring up on this, and I clearly showed to me Tim Boyle needs to take over number 2 spot behind Rodgers. I'm sorry. I keep seeing him outperform Kaiser. I don't understand what is taking so long on this. Boyle's done it for a while now, and he looks, like you said, Jay, he can spin the ball. And Kaiser just looks erratic almost every game. Like, there's throws he'll nail 3 in a row, and next thing you know, the next 3 throws after that will be 10 yards over the wide receiver's head. Boyle is consistent.
On my notes, Dave, I had on the first offensive drive, my only notes for that was Kaiser just looks like he's laboring to play the position. And
Thank you.
Even when he had good drives, it just looks like he's having to try so hard to succeed. And look, I'm not going to candy coat it. Tim Boyle did not impress me tonight. Okay, Tim Boyle was.
Me neither.
Really?
He had one drive.
He had one good. He had one good drive. He threw a lot of open balls, and actually, there's a few plays where. The receiver, there was one to Bob Tanyan where he could have slid subtly to his right in the pocket and stepped up. And instead, he just stood there and kind of chucked it up to Bob Tanyan as he was getting hit. It was just, look, I know I'm being micro here, but he just didn't, he had a bad game, okay? But he still does better than Kaiser because even though his bad throws and some of the stuff that I want to bitch about him about doing tonight because it was not impressive and I've been hyping him up and he didn't do me any favors for backing up all the hype I've been putting on him today, honestly, in my opinion. I don't know what you think, Ryan, but he still doesn't look like he's laboring to play the position the way that Deshaun Kaiser does. I don't know how else to put it because I don't want to go into every great play and every bad play. Good plays or bad plays put aside. The one common thing I see in Kaiser is he just looks like he has to try so hard to do the mundane, simple things that shouldn't even be noticeable. And it doesn't look like it's getting any better. And Boyle still looks like the right now he looks like the guy that should be the backup quarterback, but I wasn't impressed with him tonight.
Here's the thing. I know what you're saying. I see the same thing in terms of what you're talking about with Kaiser. The problem I have with it is Tim Boyle's not playing against first team defenses. He's always playing against second, third, fourth team. And I need to see him actually do what he did on that one good-looking drive where he got the touchdown pass. I need to see him do that, one, consistently. If he's going to always be against second, third, fourth stringers, he needs to do that consistently all the time. And two, I need to see him actually do it against first stringers. And I haven't seen that. And I think the few times where he's played against upper echelon defense, he hasn't shined. In my opinion, in my notes, we don't have a good backup quarterback, period. I'm not confident in either of those. So
I think I could have to agree with that sentiment right now, because if you're going to pick from the two, you're going to take Boyle, in my opinion. But what I've seen, and you hit it right on the head, he's playing against the third and fourth string guys, and you're still seeing some inconsistencies. But I guess I was strictly talking between the two. But you brought up a great point, Ryan. This is another year where they better be on the horn and do something, because if we go into the season with these two guys, Boyle is a year away at best of being ready to be the backup, and Kaiser, I think you just got to – the project's over. Like, I don't think you can fix a guy that looks like he's having to try and think so much. I don't think that's fixable. Maybe the light just has to come on, but I don't – maybe, Ryan, maybe you can, or Dave, you can put something else that I'm not being able to put into words to describe it better, but it just doesn't seem like some other players you see that have some of the same issues, that it's something that you could see easily fixed. I don't know exactly how to explain it. It hurts my eyes to watch him play the quarterback position. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be mean. It looks like he's just trying very hard.
So my buddy and I, he's a diehard Packer fan. He knows this stuff. He used to work for the Packers as well. Now he works here for the Gophers. But we were watching that one drive where Tim Boyle took him down the field, and he completed a couple passes to Alan Lazard. Darren Hall made some nice runs. Alan Lazard, and then threw the touchdown. I think it was to Darius Shepard. And we looked at each other during that drive, and I said, that is what it should look like. The way that he just took that team down the field, the way that he commanded that offense, the way that he saw the plays, the receivers, when they were open, on time, ball came out quick, he didn't hesitate. That's what it should look like. If Tim Boyle can do that and consistently and look like that, yeah, you're a competent backup quarterback. I start to feel good about what we have there. The problem is he doesn't do that all the time. That's the problem. So he has those drives and he has those plays where he does those things, and you're like, damn, that looked really good. He's got some arm talent. He can really spin it. He actually played within the offense the way it's supposed to be. That was actually another comment my buddy said. He's like, hey, that is what this quarterback in this offense needs to be able to do. Can Rodgers or will Rodgers do that? I corrected him. He said, can Rodgers? Like, no, it's not can. He can. Will he? And that was the thing we started talking about. But it was all because based off of what Tim Boyle did on that one drive. The problem is he doesn't do it all the time. And the other problem is I need to see that against first-string defense.
Well, you know what? Moving on to one of our guys we've been backing since he came in, got drafted, looked good last week. Man, I hate to label him as this, but he's one of the losers this week, Dexter Williams. Rough night, had a fumble. He did have a long run call back because of a hold.
Actually credited in the box score to Tim Boyle.
I know, but it's still a muffed handoff. To me, a muffed handoff is still a 50-50 thing. You take two to tango.
I got to comment on this. So I played running back my entire life until my last year of high school. I switched to cornerback. I learned this at a young age, and I've actually noticed this about Dexter Williams in videos I've watched in training camp, and the exact thing happened tonight. When you go to take a handoff as a running back, you cannot extend your hands out away from your body the way that he does. That is one of the main reasons why that ball was fumbled.
Open the bread basket, take the loaf of bread, close the hand.
You put your finger, your underhand arm, the pinky in your belly button, and you open up your top one, and you bend over the ball. You cradle it as the ball hits your chest. You do not reach out away from your body because that creates space that the ball can easily drop through. He does that, and it's a coaching thing. It's little details, right? That is one of the main reasons why that ball was fumbled. Now, yes, I don't think there's definitely some issues with the actual exchange with the quarterback as well. I say that, but that is something I've noticed about him. I haven't commented on it, but I've noticed it before, and it happened, and that's one of the main reasons why that happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, it explains why he also was a 6th-round pick, too.
Well,
stuff like that.
And again, it's Ryan's absolutely right, because I did play running back and I played free safety, and that's why I made those comments, because our coaches always said, you make your bread basket just like you were saying, and it's kind of like you take your top hand, if you're right-handed, your right arm goes on top, you make a cup and it almost touches the inside of your left elbow, and then the other hand is making it, and it cups and it kind of touches the other side of that elbow. Keep it against your body, and you open that up. And and like he said, you bend over. When that ball slams your chest, you pinch down like a vice and hold on to that thing, and your hands are positioned so that ball's tips are in the palms and fingertips of both hands on opposite ends. It's pretty hard to get away or fumble it, and it's against your body, so there's no space. Ryan's absolutely right. It's a small thing. Shouldn't be an issue with somebody that's played as much football as he is. But, boy, in the NFL, that will result in a ton of muffed fumbles and muffs on the exchange if he doesn't correct that immediately. And I think it's easily done, but it's a habit thing, and he better get to fixing it because it will be something that keeps him off the field. And he is such an explosive runner and so instinctive and so good in this zone scheme. I would hate for something so small and mundane to keep him from being able to be on the field and be able to be a productive piece of this offense. Good point, Ryan. That was excellent eyes there, sir.
Well, do you guys want to hear a winner?
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Tony Brown. Tony freaking Brown. Tony Tooth Brown. This dude keeps showing he can play over and over and over again. I know people don't like hearing the whole Kevin King is expendable thing from me, but I'm going to keep saying it. As I understand he's good when he's healthy, but it's a miracle when he's healthy, folks. Tony Brown has shown he can be healthy and he can play. And also, too, Kadar Hallman right behind him, but still, Tony Brown in the spotlight. He had a couple tip passes tonight that looked really good, and he plays his receivers so tight. It's so nice to see a DB like Jair and Tony to be able to play so tight to receivers and not pull a flag because of the fact of they know where to stop with their bodies.
Dave and Ryan, why is it that I have noticed that people do not want to get behind Tony Brown? What is it about Tony Brown that people don't seem to like? Because as far as
he had a bad narrative in college.
Okay, but you know what? The funny thing is if you ask people, a lot of people didn't even realize the kid played for Alabama and was a part of those national championship teams. So I think that's a little.
I know.
I think it's a little funny that they want to bring that up when they probably Googled it and had no idea that was even an issue until somebody told them.
He has 2 national championship rings.
Right. I don't, because his abilities and his ability to execute on the field, I don't understand why people want to fight and tell me, honest to God, other than the opportunities being a little different, being very different between him and Kevin King, from what I've seen him play, I believe that he could give you the same results, if not better, than what we've seen from Kevin King. He's faster. He's stronger.